Na, 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 na. Love that song. Hi, everyone. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Who can guess what I'm saying? Wow. Wow. Can't believe it is lesson number 5 of reading comprehension. Yesterday, we had lesson number 5 of basic reading skills. Today, we have lesson number 5 of reading comprehension. Wow. Wow. We have learned. Oh, Brody's here. Brody's here with the toy. Where are you, bro? We have. Is it a toy? Oh, it's my sock. He was here with my sock. Come here, bro. It's lesson number 5. It's lesson number 5. So we have learned the strategy somebody wanted, but so then to summarize, we have learned how to make an inference using My Neighbor's Trash, using Pixar shorts, and using that really cool book, The Coal Thief. Today we're going to get into some nonfiction work. We are going to get into some fact work. We are going to learn how to really deepen our understanding and learn new information in our books and our articles by making something called a KWL chart. What do you know? What do you want to learn? And what have you learned after reading? This is a good way to activate your brain before you read. Think about everything you already know, still using that schema, and then really take careful notes on what you have learned and what you want to learn so we can read with intention. But we'll get to that in the PowerPoint. For now, just want to say good morning. Welcome to week number 5 of our virtual classroom. I miss you guys so much. I really do. I miss you guys. The virtual expectations are the same. If you need to grab a snack, go get one. If you want to go on the dog walk, sure. If you want to go save the world like Superman and Batman and Superwoman and Captain Marvel and whoever, go do it. And Robin, sorry, I didn't mean to forget Robin, go do it. If you need to go surfing, go do it. If you need to go get your wiggles out, for sure. We just ask, remember, all these lessons build, they all build. So we want to do the lessons before this lesson, before we do this lesson. So we just ask that they be done in that sequence order. Okay, without further ado, let's get into that virtual PowerPoint. See you guys there. Hello, super readers. Welcome to the virtual PowerPoint for reading comprehension, lesson number 5, looking at our KWL charts to really strengthen our reading comprehension skills. Let's do this. Our learning target, just one today. Learn the new comprehension strategy KWL charts. It's our learning target. The KWL strategy. The tree growing, our comprehension skills are growing and getting bigger as we read more books and learn more strategies. So, strong readers, I just want to get to my pen. There we go. There it is. So, strong readers activate their prior knowledge before they read. They build background knowledge before they dive right in. So, we had a big conversation when we were doing our inferencing strategies around prior knowledge. For inferencing, let's see if it's on the next slide. There we go. With inferencing, we used our schema, which is that fancy word for background knowledge, to make our educated guesses. We used text evidence along with what we knew, our schema, our background knowledge, our prior knowledge, to infer character feelings, events in a story, author's message, to make those, to read between the lines. Now we're going to use our schema in a different way. We are going to activate it before we read, and thinking about what we already know about a topic will help us build new knowledge. Thinking about what you already know will help you build new levels of knowledge. So we want to activate our prior knowledge because it helps us apply what we already know to our reading. It helps us make connections with the story. It's kind of like how sprinters will stretch before a race. They're warming their body up for that long leg of sprinting. By activating our prior knowledge, thinking about what we already know about a topic, we are getting our brains ready to learn new information. And it's using what we already know to learn about what we don't know yet. So here's that poster of the different aspects of reading comprehension. And comprehension is linking the unknown to the known. So here, when we're using the KWL chart, you guys will see that we're thinking, we're asking questions, we're using our schema. There's different, with our inferencing, we might have just been using our eyes, but now we're using our head and our mouth and our stomach, all these different areas of our reading comprehension. We're monitoring our comprehension, a lot of skills at play here. So the KWL reading comprehension strategy, today we're going to use nonfiction. You'll see I'm going to read excerpts, so not the whole thing, about a nonfiction text about elephants. So the KWL stands for what I know, what I want to learn, and what I learned. What I know, that's that activating prior knowledge piece, what I want to learn, and what I learned after reading. So the KWL, what do you already know about the topic fits with the K. What do you want to know about the topic fits with that W. And what did you learn from reading fits with that L. Before reading is our K. Before and during reading. So our K is that activating prior knowledge. We do it before we dive into a book. What we want to learn is our questions. It happens before and during reading. You can develop more questions as you read. And what you learned, you can either take notes while you're reading, during reading, noting what you've learned, making answers to those questions, or it can be done after reading. So again, thinking about this in a different way, reading comprehension is making predictions, making connections, making inferences, asking questions, and summarizing. With the KWL chart, we're really making connections with what we already know to learn about what we don't know. We're asking questions throughout the whole thing, and we are summarizing. That goes all the way back to our somebody wanted but so then strategy when we were using that with fiction text. So here's another. I found a few different graphic organizers to show our KWL chart, and different kind of prompts in each one. So the K, what you already know about the topic. This is where our prior knowledge, our background knowledge and schema fit in. It's where we're making connections to text, to our life experiences and our school experiences. And we want to prepare our brain for that new information. So to be sure we're picking up on the key details an author is teaching us, it's important to not let any preconceptions or misconceptions get in the way. That is why the K in the know in the KWL chart is so important. So let's say I'm reading a book about spiders, and I think to myself that I have this idea that spiders don't make webs, and I'm sure of it, and I think they live in nests. And so when I'm reading, my mind might not be open to the fact that no, they actually do make webs. But if I have this this solid fact in my mind that they live in nests like birds, then my mind might not be open to new knowledge. So it's important that when you're filling out the K part of the KWL, it's not any guess, it's what you're really sure of, and always keeping an open mind throughout that whole reading process. The W is what do you want to know about the topic? What do you want to learn? So this is where look at that brain reading, it looks so happy. Think about all the questions you have about the topic. This is where before you read and while you're reading, you list out all the questions you might have about your given topic. And then the L, what did you learn about the topic, is after, or during reading, we reflect back on all that we learned. Did you get your questions answered? Did you learn anything new? That's where that new information comes into play. So here's some examples of completed charts that I found online. So here's one for owls. This class knew they were nocturnal, they had big eyes, what they wondered about or what they wanted to learn, where do they live, and then here's all their facts. They learned that a group of owls is known as a parliament. I didn't know that. Here's one about trees. As you can see, the class filled out together the K, what they knew about trees, what they wanted to know about trees, and what they learned. So it can be applied to a lot of different topics. Here's another one about science. This is a little bit more advanced. I think they're talking about the nervous system, what they know, what the class knew already, what they wanted to know, and what they learned after reading. Here's some examples of blank charts that you'll see in the Seesaw activity pages. You can use this one. This is one you guys can print out. You can use this one. You can see how you have, this is the first section, this is the second section, so we have 1, 2, and this is what you learned. And then there's also a student checklist I added on there, and it just helps you keep track of remembering, okay, before I read, I fill out the K column. Then I listed my questions. So it's kind of just a way to check off the different steps of the KWL chart. So I'm going to give you guys a short example. As we know, my videos can't exceed really, it takes a lot if they're even up to 20 minutes. So I just picked excerpts from this book, but I was thinking of elephants this morning, so I thought, why not find a text on elephants? So I'm going to show you guys how to fill in a KWL chart with excerpts from a book called Elephants, Giant Mammals. So remember, that K part, we want to list all that we know about elephants based on past experiences and readings. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know much about elephants. This isn't a topic I'm very familiar with. I know they're huge.
I know that they live in families and communities. They're not solitary animals. I know just from different Discovery Channel documentaries I've seen that they have really strong memories, and that they have parts of their body are called the tusks and trunk, and that if one of their family members dies, that they mourn that family member. That's something I think that's pretty special about elephants. So that's what I know. So you can see, you guys might be able to fill out so much more, but that's what I know. Now we're going to do that. What do you want to know? What do you want to learn about the topic? What do I want to learn about elephants? So I filled out, I'm wondering if there's any land animal bigger than an elephant. I know that blue whales are super, super huge, but I don't know if there's any other land animal that's bigger than an elephant. I also am curious about their trunks. Why are they so long? What do they use them for? I think anteaters have really interesting noses, elephants too, so I'm hoping to find out more about that. And I know that they live in families. I don't know what those families are called, but I'm wondering if they have a leader and if they interact in a way that helps one another survive, or they just kind of follow family members around without really helping each other out. So those are my questions. Let's get to reading. Okay, I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to get a highlighter ready too. Let's see, is that cool? That will highlight. Because remember, we want to either highlight or take notes in our reading as we're going. Okay, big bodies, big brains. If you don't think elephants are gigantic, think again. Oh, I remember, there's something I want to learn about their size. They're the most enormous land animals anywhere on Earth. To find bigger animals, you would have to look in the depths of the ocean where blue whales, we just talked about this, where blue whales and a few other whales are larger. On land, though, elephants reign supreme. That goes back to answering one of my questions. So now I know. I came into this reading, with my prior knowledge activated, had questions ready to go, and there's one of my answers. That's great. Elephants have impressive intelligence as well. Scientists consider elephants to be among the brightest animals. That's something I didn't know. Even though I didn't have a question, I think that's really interesting. I'm going to highlight it and add it to something that I learned. This is evident in the way that they cleverly create and use tools to scratch themselves. I had no idea. I love that. And collaborate to solve problems. This is definitely going to be information for my L. Even though I don't have questions about it, this is definitely going to be in what I learned. They also work together to protect their calves. That has to do with them living in families and helping each other. They can remember locations of faraway places to find food and water. Some experiments have even discovered that elephants can recognize their own reflections, which only the most advanced animals can do. That's super cool. Home sweet home. So I'm right here now. When it comes to their habitat, elephants are more flexible than many other animals. As long as, sorry, I can't read because the highlighter's in the way. As long as these colossal, brainy beasts can find enough food and water, they can thrive in a variety of environments. So even though I didn't have a question about that, I'm going to highlight it and add it to my learned section again. In Africa, elephants live in hot, dry grasslands, rainforests, and even deserts. They can live at varying elevations from sea level to high in the mountains. In Asia, most elephants live in tropical forests, some that have lengthy rainy seasons called monsoons and others that have long periods of drought. They also live in swamps and other habitats that provide the shade they need. So even though I didn't have a question about this, I'm going to make a note in the margin with a question mark that says, what? Now that I've learned a little bit about their habitats, I'm forming a new question that says, what do elephants eat? And maybe we'll learn about it in the excerpt. I'm not sure. We can always read it later. The incredible elephant trunk. That's important. That's definitely going to talk to my question about what do they use the trunks for. With their hulking bodies, legs like massive columns, and thick, wrinkly gray or brown skin, elephants don't resemble any other animal alive today. Most unusual of all are elephants' long, flexible trunks, which function as their nose and upper lip combined. I had no idea I thought it was their nose. I didn't realize it was part of their mouth. That is new learning. Elephants use their massive trunks for multiple purposes. There's the answer to my question. Okay, they breathe through them, use them to grasp food and other objects, and make blaring trumpet-like noises by blowing air through them. An African elephant can suck up 2 gallons of water with its trunk and swoosh the water into its mouth for a drink or spray it across its body for a cooling shower. Afterward, it can pick up dust and blast it over its wet skin for protection from the pesky insects in the sun. So they use it for protection, they use it to grab things, they use it to take showers, they use it to breathe. Trunks are also important for elephant communication. Maybe this will answer my question around how, is the family unit important to them? Scientists study how elephants use infrasound, sound that is too low for humans to hear, to communicate. Oh, so they use sound to communicate. Friends and relatives entwine using the trunk, entwine their trunks together to say hello, and young elephants use them to wrestle and play. That's adorable. A mother elephant is extremely affectionate with her youngster and might stroke her calf with her trunk to comfort it. But she can also use her trunk to give the calf a slap if it's misbehaving. So here's a lot of information about elephant trunks. So that will answer that what did I learn part. I think we have one more page here. Life in and out of the herd. Scientists have learned that female elephants are social animals that form close relationships with others of their herd. Oh, so now we know that a group or a community of elephants is called a herd. In the wild, female elephants spend their entire lives in the company of related females and their young. Each herd is an extended family group led by a matriarch, so they're led by their moms. It's a female-led herd. Usually the oldest female elephant with the most experience surviving in the wild, so that's how they choose their leader. The entire herd might descend from the matriarch, including her adult daughters and their calves. For the sake of timing, I'm going to pause here, but we just learned a lot and we got a lot of our questions answered, and we're able to form new questions. So, going back to our learn, what did we learn section? Looking back at our notes and highlights, what did we learn? Were any of our questions answered? They so were. We learned that elephants are the most enormous land animal on Earth. You have to go to the ocean to find another one. We learned all about elephant trunks, how they function, that they serve multiple purposes like breathing and grasping and drinking and communication. We learned that elephants are very social and they look out for each other's young and they protect one another and are very playful. And that elephant herds are led by the eldest female elephant and they're a matriarchal community. Awesome. Do you see how that kind of really kept us intentionally building our knowledge? We activated our prior knowledge. What do we already know about elephants? We're already ready coming in. We took really careful notes. We made really relevant questions. We got a lot of them answered. And this is going to be super important for our nonfiction reading. Beautiful job, guys. I will meet you back in the virtual classroom. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I learned a lot about those big, gorgeous elephants that roam our Earth. Okay, now go into our activity section of Seesaw. It's your turn to make the KWL chart. Directions are laid out there. But pick a book, pick an article, go to Epic Count, go to Newsella, pick a book that's already in your house, and create a KWL chart of what you know about the topic, what you want to learn, and what you learned after reading that text. If you need any help finding a book or an article, just message us, call us, email us, send us a pigeon, send us the force. We will help you find a book. We hope you enjoy this activity and learn something new using that KWL chart for our comprehension and building our strong comprehension skills. Okay, see you guys next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. It's going to be a great sunny day here in California. Go enjoy it. See you guys later.